Hey, this is Bert Salazar. I hope that you're doing well and you're taking care of yourself and your family with this epidemic that we're going through. The bear market has been really, really bad. It's been horrible. But I always like to think outside of the box, and this could be very well a blessing in disguise, not only for you, but for your family and your business as well. Now, I know you're going to say to me, Bert, I've lost a lot of money in my 401k, my IRAs, my TSP if you happen to be a public employee, or any other type of retirement account that you may have. But at the end of the day, if you really think about it, you probably brought it upon yourself. I'm always going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what I have been doing for many, many years is kind of consulting a lot of my clients and providing them with information, because information without education always leads to failure. So you got to remember that we just went through a 10-year bull market, which was the longest bull market in American history. And although that was the case, I did some calculations that if you go back to 1999, when the market, Dow Jones, closed at 10,000 for the first time in history, and you fast forward to today, the average return over a 20-year period on the Dow Jones has been 4.29%. So you were taking a tremendous amount of risk, hoping for a much higher rate of return. And when it was all said and done, and by the way, hope is not a financial strategy, but when it was all said and done, all you ended up with was 4.29%. But you actually didn't end up with that, because you still have to factor in inflation and taxation. And if you're in retirement accounts, you probably haven't paid taxes on those accounts. So that 4.29% could very well be a net of 2.75 to 3%. The reason why I'm thinking that this is a blessing in disguise is that all of you were playing this football game, and all you care about for the past 10 years was running the offense, and you wanted to get the best players that you could on the offensive side of the line, because that's all you care about. You never worried about the defense. And what happened was, at the very beginning of this year, actually, I would say about 3 weeks ago, because it's only been a 3-week so far bear market, your offensive line, somewhere, somehow, they fumble the football. The other team recovered. Now your defensive line had to come in and play the game. And guess what? You didn't have one. So therefore, you failed to protect your assets in case of a bear market. So did you think that the market was going to continue to head north all the time without a bear market? So if in reality you have lost any money in your retirement accounts, don't blame anyone else. Don't blame the coronavirus. Don't blame the Dow. Don't blame the economy. Don't blame anyone but yourselves. But again, the reason why I still think it's a blessing in disguise is that hopefully now it's giving you the ability to kind of drop, tan, and punt, as they say in football, and kind of take a look at your assets. Where are they situated? What kind of assets do you have? What kind of risk protection do you have on your assets? Because at the end of the day, if you live a long life, there's a very high probability that you're going to run out of money before you run out of life. And if you don't do anything about this bear market, there's going to be a long, long time from now before you're going to recover any losses that you have today. Just to give you an idea, if you have a 40% loss in the market today, you need a 67% rate of return in 1 year just to break even. I've never seen that in the history of the market. But let's say that you're able to get 8% on an annual basis after you have just lost 40%. Well, guess what? It's going to take you 6.6 years just to break even and bring you back to where you were today before you lost that 40%. So making certain that you protect the downside of your investments is as critical as trying to maximize the internal rate of return on your investments moving forward into the future. So again, the other thing that you need to consider, in addition to what to do, is where are you going to put your assets? Can you put your assets in investments that you can participate in the gains in the market without participating in the losses? Absolutely that you can. And there are certain vehicles, and just like going to Baskin Robbins, there are 31 different flavors. So you have to make certain that you talk to someone that understands your personal situation, your risk, what it is that you're willing to do What kind of risk are you willing to take? When are you thinking about retiring? How much money are you going to need in retirement? And if you're able to provide that information, then someone that understands risk mitigation will be able to put you in accounts where your principal will always be guaranteed. The second thing you got to consider is that there's going to be a bailout. The government is about to sign a $2 trillion. What I normally tell my clients is, a trillion here, a trillion there. Eventually, it's a lot of money. Yeah, of course it is. But by the same token, once the market recovers, whenever that may be, and it could be years down the line, and once the economy gets back to where it used to be, someone is going to have to pay the piper. The government is going to have to recover all of those monies. And there are many ways to do it. Number one, there's a high probability that taxes are going to be much, much higher in the future than they are today. So you need to start doing some asset shifting from forever taxed to never taxed in order to make certain that you can protect yourself in case that taxes go through the roof in the future, which more than likely they will be. Looking at the national debt and the unfunded liabilities that we have in this country, which are enormous, not including what's about, to come down the pike right now. And then the other thing that you need to consider is, well, if your 401k just became a 201k because you lost 50% of your assets in the market, or 30% or 40%, whatever it may be, it could be a great opportunity to start thinking about Roth conversions. Because if you're going to convert from a traditional 401k or a traditional IRA to a Roth, you have to pay taxes in the year of the conversion. So I'd rather pay the taxes on an asset that has depreciated in value. So when the assets recover at some point in time in the future, that entire growth would be totally tax-free, not only for yourself, but also for your family. Again, if you happen to have any questions regarding some of the topics that I discuss on a regular basis, please feel free to reach out. You can call me at area code 786-766-1042. You can also send me an email at Bert, B-E-R-T, at gablestaxgroup.com. And always remember that my goal is to kind of help you change the way that you see things, because when you change the way that you see things, the things that you see change. Again, thanks for giving me a few minutes of your time today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.